Hey everyone, John here again. Another on location under a bridge downtown. Answering a question here that someone asked, wanted me to reflect a little bit more on this idea of a publishing company. This campaign for the release of The Ballad of the Lost Dogs of East Nashville, my new novel, also includes the launch of a publishing company. What's that about? And I'll explain it more in written form, but just to touch on it, I've been involved in really publishing of one sort of another for 30 years. When publishing, my old boss at Capital CMG Music Publishing, Eddie told me that publishing, the root word is just public or to publicize. It's the same thing. In music publishing, you're talking about making songs aware to the public. So you're pitching songs to get them cut. You're then taking care of those songs once they've been cut. So that's how song publishing works. I used to publish a print magazine, and so we would have to take those things, get them printed and get them shipped around the world and all that stuff. I've written a couple of other books, and they've been handled by other publishers. And in the past, book publishing, as well as publishing films, publishing records, publishing songs, it really required big companies to do that. Especially, books, you had to print a ton of them and ship them to all these stores, and there was a big financial risk in that because what if people didn't buy them? Then you had all this product getting returned. Today, publishers really are marketing companies, and if you do it well, you find the audience that's interested in what your authors have to say, and then you can kind of communicate and deliver the right books to that audience, or films, or podcasts, or music. The problem is that in this era of streaming and social media, we think we're able to communicate with people, but we're really not. We're all only seeing a tiny sliver of what's out there. Had to pop back over to the home office here because the wind noise just got too crazy down there by the river. I came up at the tail end of the old era. I got to experience as a kid when I was launching True Tunes what it was like to put a magazine out to 50, 60,000 people, and a couple weeks later have the phone start ringing and start selling records to those people and get that feedback that what we were doing was reaching people. These days, it's not like that. We can put all this work into stuff and send it out there through the internet and not have any idea if it's really reaching people. In a lot of cases, we know that it's not. This social media ecosystem that we're in is not designed to actually help good things reach the people even that want to consume it and have it hit them. So this idea of a publishing company, now we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we can do that will enrich people's lives? And this is going to involve books and audio experiences, podcasts, and music. But it's not going to be the old way. And we'll get into all that stuff later. But the idea here is to gather people together, kind of like we did at the Cornerstone Festival, kind of like the way we did it at True Tunes, to say things like genre, things like labels in the old sense are not as helpful as they used to be. They're helpful to some in terms of the way most internet marketing is done now is by finding one thing and then saying, okay, we're going to create a lookalike audience for that. So when you say this falls under neatly categorized things, then you can say, we just want to send this to the people that like this. When you're talking about art, when you're talking about stories, when you're talking about music, it doesn't, I think, follow those things very well, especially if you're saying we're looking for people who are interested in stories, music, nonfiction, that is spiritual and passionate, but not necessarily specifically religious or dogmatic. We know there's an audience of people that are still leaning into that stuff, but they're not interested in the old sacred secular divide. I know that there's a large audience for that stuff. I just know it. But it's hard to find that group of people through the conventional methods. So when we're successful in the first tier of this campaign and we get into bonus levels, that'll give us some money that's going to take to use social media marketing to find that tribe. Once we have them, we can create a sort of virtual tent where we can reach people through marketing, through podcasting, through all kinds of ways. And then we can build an ongoing conversation with those folks. And we can release future books, not only by me, by other authors, and audio experiences and products, and possibly even future events, and tell people about new releases from artists that they're going to love. This is going to change things, I think, for not only authors, but I'm working with student artists that are trying to cut through the noise, and they find it really, really difficult because their fate is in the hands of things like Spotify. We want to change that. So that's a little bit about why this campaign involves the vision and hope of establishing something like a publishing company. So again, more of that down the road, but I wanted to answer that question now here, and I hope you'll join us at truetunes.com/ballad. Jump in on the Kickstarter and help us make it happen. Thank you. Peace. Bye-bye.